Hey guys, good morning. Yesterday it was all about how to find the time to make music, and today it's all about how to use the time that you have as efficient as possible.
Excuse me, I know we just met, but we have this dance.
I very recently put all of my stuff onto the wall, especially those cables, so no more mess searching for cables, trying to separate the cables. It's all there whenever I need it. I usually start my new tracks with the things that are the easiest and where I can advance the fastest, so that I have pretty early on something that I can listen to and that keeps me motivated to finish the track. I do daily backups of my computer just in case I screw something up. I can go back and save a lot of time instead of trying to reverse engineer it. The best way to speed up your working process is having a template to start off each and every time you make a new track. Mine is already quite old, so it's about time to make a new one. The best way to do it is just to copy one of your recent tracks that you've finished. This one is called Shadows. I open up the Logic project, and the first thing I do is selecting all and deleting it. I also delete all of the tracks except for the first 6 ones. I will explain later why. I start off with the mastering chain. At the very end I have the span analyzer to see what I'm doing and to see the correlation meter as well as the RMS value. I also have a limiter that I set to 0 just to prevent any clipping. The channels that I did delete are stacked into the first one here called drums. I have on this channel the glue compressor for my parallel drum compressing that I've showed you in another video. On channel 2 is Geist, my drum sequencer, and I've routed all of the channels to the channels in here. So if I have on channel 2 the top kick, it's on channel 3 of my drum stack. On channel 3 is my snare, it's here channel 4. So everything from Guru is outputting right into Logic. This saves me a lot of CPU power instead of having multiple instances of the Geist plugin. And also by routing the elements I can EQ them separately, put separate reverbs on top of them. I remove all of the EQ settings on the drum tracks. I always have to set them individually depending on the kick that I choose. Also all of the reverb routings and special things that I use, for example here the sample delay on the hi-hats, I delete. So these are all of the channels that are pre-set up. I have here the green ones are the drum elements. All of them are routed into bus number 2, which has the parallel compression on it, except for the kick. The kick is first routed to bus number 1, which is the trigger for the sidechaining. So whenever I open up a compressor, I select here in sidechaining bus number 1, and the kick is immediately triggering the compressor. This blue section are all of my reverbs. I have here an ambient reverb that is really small, a small reverb. The reverb for the clap is a bit special. It already has an EQ on top of it and a compressor that I can activate to have a bit of sidechaining just on the reverb of the clap. I have a vocal reverb, an instrument reverb, and a really big reverb for effect sounds. The next section are the effects that I use quite often with an echo, a ping pong delay, tape delay, and waves H delay. That is really nice. I also have one with distortion that is empty. I usually do the distortion individually. And bus number 14 is always my chorus to widen things and make them a bit more fat. And here I have bus number 15 and 16 from making the previous track. I had to do these reverbs individually. I can delete them, I don't need them for my template, as well as bus number 22, which has native driver distortion plugin. That's something really special I won't use on every track. And also bus 23 was something individual, as well as bus 24. So all done with the template. I will save it now to be able to use it every time again. I think there is one function where you can save it directly as a template. Yeah, right here you can save it as a template. And this one I will just call 2016. My last one was from 2015, so about time to make a new one. So that's already my template. It's really basic. It just helps me to get the drum routing done and some of the effects. It's really nice, for example, if you choose the claps to have a reverb ready to go, just to hear the clap with the reverb. Makes it just so much easier to start out new tracks, and it eliminates all of the tasks that I would have to repeat each and every time I'm making a track. And speaking of making a new track, that's what I will do next.
Excuse me. I know we just met, but we have this dance.
Finding the right drum samples can be quite time consuming, so I always have my Jon sample folder with a lot of kicks, claps and hi-hats that I can use whenever I get stuck searching for a new sample that fits. There are also all of these drum loops that you can use. I don't like to use them anymore that much because they're usually way too full and I don't have control over each and every element. But a lot of great house tracks only consist of looped up and chopped up samples. There's also nothing wrong to use the samples that come with Logic. They're a great starting point, especially when you start out making music. Next up is picking a chord structure. I always go for a key that is quite easy to play with a guitar, and also keeping in mind the vocal range of a singer and songwriter. You can lose quite a lot of time by trying to find the right synthesizer sound. Whenever you find one that you really like, or you have tweaked one that you want to keep, there is no problem in just saving it to the synthesizer or into your DAW directly and reuse it whenever you need it. Sometimes I've saved sounds that I don't need for the track that I'm working on, but I might use them in the future. Reusing these sounds can also help you to develop your own style. It also makes it easier for people when they listen to your new track to immediately hear that it's one of yours. Okay, all done. I found a couple of sounds that are really nice. By the way, if you're looking for EDM sounds, the Razor Ensemble for Natives Reactor is really awesome, has a lot of ravey, synthy EDM sounds. It took quite some time to find the perfect sound, but I got it. I also found two more that are really nice. I will save them for later. Now I have to stop working on this track. I have to call two people to organize a very special recording session at the end of next week. In a location. Ja, was braucht ihr denn? Oh, das ist ja schon mal nicht schlecht. Bis dann, freue mich. Ciao. Phone call number 2 is with a very talented singer and songwriter. Really looking forward to be working with her. Still don't have a location. Perfect. So looking forward. I already heard some amazing stuff. Perfect. Okay. Bye bye. Okay. Also done. Now, I know I'm doing it again, but I'm tweaking a bit my Rising track with Kaylee. Writing a whole lot of emails. Mastering 3 tracks for a friend. Checking out new music on Spotify. And of course adding the best tracks to my playlist. It's already 8 again. Vanessa's waiting. Time to pack my stuff and head back home. I won't need these.
I know we just met, but we have this dance.
Home, time to make dinner. Today is the first time I'm using one of my homegrown chilies for cooking. It took half a year to get this. It cost me a whole lot more than just buying a bunch of them, so very inefficient. The red one is really spicy. Oh, it's extremely spicy.
Ist die in unserem Chili drin?
Yeah, it's in our chili. We're done watching Narcos, now only 2 emails. And since it's Friday evening, almost midnight, time to head out, have a couple of drinks with friends, and we will see us tomorrow again.
Excuse me. I know we just met, but we have this dance.
I'm just back, it's now 3:30. I have to be quiet, Vanessa's already sleeping. I just wanted to let you know that I will do the next Q&A really soon, so leave all of your questions down below. I will answer them in one of the upcoming videos. And now it's time to try to sneak into bed without waking her up.